Welcome to the stream. So this is a new Factorio version, and this is my factory that I built over the last months, mostly off-stream. And those are my spaceships or space platforms. This one is a copy of one that died, I guess. So I have to optimize it still. I'm trying to make it as thin as possible. But also maybe I should have 3 thrusters and make it a little bit more wide for that. Anyway. Therefore it's grounded for now. It will not travel anywhere. It has paused thrust. Also I want to see if there are any new features. There's the input and output separated. That's quite good. Anyway, I know what I need to do first. I need to get the Spidertrons to me. I guess there's a new patrolling system. I don't know how that works. Not sure if you have to set anything anywhere or just use different key combinations. Anyway, they are quite fast and I need to go to the labs, I think. Because from now on I want to automate which research gets selected. Might be difficult to organize that, but eventually I will be able to do that. I need to somehow count how many of which science I have. So, well, I need to go out of map mode, and this is me, in a way. So you can basically now click on this and select a research. I don't know, maybe that was already possible before. Maybe that's not it, but I can take a cable, attach it to there. I wonder whether the electric network always showed it like this, with satisfaction, production and accumulator charge there on the right in the info panel. Anyway, I can now click on this. I can read technology level, I can read research cost, I can read contents, and I can set research. Set research is what I would want to do. But not yet, because I want to first figure out how much of which science I have available. I think it would also be good to just measure these few belts together. This is basically the first new feature that I can directly just implement. Hold all belts. So in this now, on the right, there's 8.2k blue and 8.2k purple science. And I can do a similar thing here, except that it doesn't quite reach. So I will just put another power pole there. They are quite cheap. I might also take a smaller one if I had one. I don't know if it would be available, but would be nice to save on quality resources. I wonder how it works on the diagonals. I guess it should be exactly the same if I hold all belts anyway. So now we have red, green, blue and purple cataloged. We would have the opportunity somewhere probably to measure the incoming orange and pink science from Volcanus and Fulgora. There's yellow and not yet military science. I haven't yet done military science. Yellow is what I did last. Yeah, this is the new lab location. I had to set myself a reminder. It will be probably as big as this square, minus some train and sorting stuff. I hope I'm loud enough, because I changed something about my microphone settings probably, or they changed themselves. I don't know what is happening sometimes. But yeah, I can try to explain also some things while I'm contemplating how I would measure the next sciences. I think I just need to redirect all the existing military science to the new lab locations. It's also interesting how on all of this landfill the pollution is stuck, because the landfill does not take in any pollution. I don't know where it would say that, but there it says pollution absorption 1.11 per minute. I wish they would actually write the MIN thing, because M is meter and that might be confusing. I guess each tile maybe might be a meter wide, and then this might mean that it's per block. Also, apparently I don't have these kinds of inserters. That's kind of sad. Maybe I need to make sure that I always have some of the normal inserters, because I might also send some of them to Gleba to be upgraded into stack inserters, but maybe the production is already there. I wonder if that always was here. Probably. The trees look rather mostly broken, or maybe they have new textures. Are there new tree textures? Or did I choose some bad settings? Maybe there's more variety in trees. I have no idea. I didn't remember these looking trees. It's also fun how it's such a red thing. It looks like the Yumako trees or Yumako mushroom plants. But this is literally just wood on Norvis. Might turn off the pollution radar. I don't care about enemies anyway, since they only have a few bottleneck-like things where they might appear. I wonder whether I should eventually use the new landmine technique, where I guess I can connect landmines to the circuit network and then figure out whether enemies triggered them. And I guess the landmines then would also be replaced automatically. Maybe that's already the case nowadays. I don't think you need some kind of recursive blueprints mod for that. It is also really nice that the... Oh, yeah, the trees really look different. It's nice that the map now shows the green area from the farming agricultural towers. I think the ball bushy trees might just be the texture or the new texture for the artificial trees that have been planted. by the engineer somehow. So it all looks a bit like monoculture, really. And of course very placed in standardized grids. I'll have to do some desktop realignment right now, because I like to have the chat and one copy of the stream always in view. Good, I didn't prepare before because I hadn't streamed in a while. Might also try looking at the Windows microphone settings if that's a thing. Because I feel like I might be louder and you don't have to turn your headphones up all the time. But also the Windows settings are kind of bullshit and I still need to switch to some Linux version eventually. But maybe I can show you something more interesting during that time. I don't know, lots is going on here. I don't know if it's too interesting. This is basically my old lab setup with a lot of buffer chests. Okay, if I go to some Windows settings, it might turn off the sound for a while. I will check that again. Or maybe not. It just turns off the sound replaying for me, so you can still hear me, but yeah. I will now try to turn up the sound levels in the Windows settings. Let's try that again. It's a bit louder. I think the thing on the OBS shows a bit more towards the yellow. Good, maybe 90 is a good number. I hope that doesn't mean a lot of noise comes through. Maybe I had somehow managed to configure my noise filter via a certain volume that I had achieved, and increasing the volume might lead to other problems, I don't know. You be the judge of that. Maybe I just need a better mic or someone who actually knows their stuff. So we don't have Prometheum science right now. And I think I might actually use the robot network, the logistic network, to guess what other kinds of sciences are available. And I'm in parallel informing friends that the new Factorio is out, I guess. Not everyone knows this, or only if they receive the notifications from the Factorio Discord or whatever. I don't know if Steam tells people that an update has come out that is only experimental and not always there. Not everyone signs into the experimental updates. I think I might reduce some numbers here, even though that might also lead to problems. I hope my space platforms won't all die. I should just save the game. It also has different mods. And also that spaceship. I think it was hot lava. And now I can for the first time see the planets in the background. I mean the new version. Would be nice if I click there it should go to Volcanus. I guess I can always click there. Wait, no. I don't know how I would alt-click to quickly go to the actual planet page in the Factoriopedia. But anyway, I will... It's also nice that it describes all these things here in the Factoriopedia for the circuit network related things. They could describe what a heart is. I don't know. Would be funny. Okay, yeah, that's all the landscapes that are available on the planets, like some blubber or marsh on Glebber. Anyway, not sure if anything there was new. I don't know if I can find any interesting new helpful things here. Oh, there are a lot of different individual productivity bonuses. I don't know if they could somehow cluster them a bit better. But maybe they don't have to. And there are... Oh, this is twice. Is this twice? I mean, it's basically the same. It's like if you had these separated. And I think there shouldn't be any necessity to have that separate, but I guess mods could have that separate, that they have different productivities for different recipes. So, enough of those distractions. This new sound is if you click Alt and activate or deactivate Alt mode. I just figured that out. Some things are rather surprising when they are detected for the first time. Anyway, I will click on this roboport with this cable. And then contents. Okay, all the contents. This is a bit suboptimal. I don't know. I'll have to put this in somewhere, into a decider combinator or whatever. I don't know if with the selector combinator you could select the highest possible option of research. Guess these are other things. They have added time to the game as a thing that you can now have as an input, I guess. Game tick, day length. So you can do all kinds of time-based contraptions. Not sure if it was possible before. In some way, maybe only relative to something. If you started a clock and manually looped something. So for some reason now my spaceships sometimes complain that they don't have space in space. I might just reduce the numbers somewhat. I don't know if that will help at all, or if that will reduce my research. Could also do some of these mining productivities. They are going rather fast with the new research. And this is a new sound as well. And I can research the landing pad unloading bay. Max cargo landing pad unloading distance. Wow, okay. It's just from 0 to 59. And this just needs a cargo bay and some other things. Interesting. I guess this will research in a second. So, anything else new and surprising? Don't know. Okay, so what I think I want to do quite soon is redirect the military science from where it is being produced right now. I don't even know where that is. 10. Okay, 10 and 6, they are just next to each other. I didn't build any other thing. I just remember things from other previous playthroughs where I had factories in different positions. So if I managed to maybe, for instance, use this as a station, then I could somehow build a transfer station that allows filling up a 161 train. I don't know if I just want to... I mean, I could theoretically send these little trains here, but it would also somehow be against the principles of... because this is a 161 drop, I use interrupts for these kinds of operations. Okay, let's maybe build a transfer station right here. Or rather not, because that would be in the way. I might build it around this area. This is within one of these big squares. And these kinds of squares are even the wrong kind, the old kind. What you hear right now is obviously some kind of Fulgora song. I turned on random songs. We're not bound to the music of the planet anymore. Of the planet that we look at or sit on. Then we also get some novice songs and also some boring songs, but I have some hotkeys, I just don't know which ones they are. I have to research which can go to the next song or pause a song or something. So right now a lot of deliveries here are made via robots, and I want to avoid that. This is why I'm building this big thing, and it's mostly train-based, I guess. And I built this kind of station, which basically has two stations next to each other. And they both either feed on the right or on the left, one science and the other science. And then it gets balanced and sent to all of those labs. I would have to figure out how many there are right now. So, 266 labs. And I hope the inputs are still inputting. I wonder whether maybe purple science or something will be low at first at some point. You can also see there are some, I don't know if the frame rate shows this, but Some of them are rather transient or not fully there. I don't know if at some point this might lead to not enough science packs making it through to somewhere. I wonder if labs could show anything interesting, or at least some kind of symbol that they are labs. Sometimes I look at my factory, just see these blue blocks, and then I have to figure out that those are actually labs. Especially if you have a big city block-like design where everything is just cubes and rectangles, and you have to zoom in to figure out what it is, or you have to build a tag or something. I guess there would be ways to parameterize tags for factories based on the type. Not sure if those display panels could make a tag and show their contents a bit bigger on the map. Also want to look at Glebber, whether anything died there while I wasn't watching. Because of course if there are new features they might change things. I mean, probably things were rebalanced somewhat. There's more or less, I guess less spoilage going around right now. It might be quite loud, at least for me. I hope not for you. The rockets. I think it might be also a good motivation not to hear that noise all the time, to put the rockets further away from the factory. But of course on Glebber everything is important in case, or in terms of time and spoilage, you need to not have things too far away from one another. I will trash this in particular. Wait. Don't do that particular thing. I want not trash unrequested, but then remove this thing. But I don't want to, or I could just deactivate it, yeah. The others are still working the same. Might just turn off or lower my own sounds just to not have all of the robot and rocket noise in my ears. So these will now empty out over time. It would be nice if I could just have some kind of conditional blueprint, like if these chests are empty, place this this beacon there. But I could at least already do that. And that. There are still some eggs that could get through, or some more eggs that sometimes could get through. And I hope I have some kind of useful system here. Where is this grabbing? This is checking out how many eggs are on this long belt until there. Because sadly I can't connect a cable to an underground belt. Okay, I will do some more compactings. And then maybe I should build this up in a different place, or I already have, I don't know. So this can also, no, this. I guess I can add one more on this side. And then more laser turrets again back there, just in case an egg hatches. Okay, there's another egg factory. But eventually I would build this somewhere else and not totally built in where I can't extend anything. It's also funny that we have enough iron. At some point I had not enough copper. But I guess it still works somewhat. Something was broken at some point. Just upgrading the inserters. I should have enough of those very good stack inserters here. Let's check this out. Okay, I can just add a few more mining productivities until I actually automate that properly. Don't actually need this combinator. I will just have a decider combinator for now to read out all of this. Then I can look at this in a scrollable way. I don't know if it would otherwise be scrollable. Like if I hover over this, I can't go to the info panel to scroll. Is there a way to scroll there? Probably not. I mean, maybe not configured. I don't know if they would build that in somehow. Or that I can basically lock in the current info panel on the right just to scroll through all the signals and all the contents or whatever. Anyway, I can scroll through here or at least look at things. We have enough military science, definitely. But I guess Prometheum science is rather limited. It would be nice to just display all the science packs. I don't know if there would be abstract classes for things. Like maybe you could address all the circuits at once with some kind of super class. And then you could, for instance, do something that only applies to these 3 circuits. Or kinds of circuits, or all kinds of ores, or all kinds of science packs. And then you could have this as a class to filter things. Anyway, having ideas again for how to make things even better, but it's already quite good. I like what they did to the game. I hoped for most of these new features. I think I tried out some kind of lab research automation mod at some point, but it was not too easily handleable. I guess these labs can't yet do the good stuff because they don't have military science, and that is a thing that I wanted to do, but I was distracted again. So let's just do a very simple one. I don't really want to waste too much effort. This will be gone at some point anyway. Not sure if the signal would complain. But also I guess it's an old thing, so it will be gone anyway at some point. I decided this should be my 3-way roundabout or 3-lane roundabout. There's one on the bottom, there's one in the middle on the top, and then there's one going around all the elevated rail ramps, because you can't build above these ramps. And I also added nice details here. You may find some interesting color schemes. I guess it's Pride Month as well, so happy Pride. And there the robots are working again very needlessly, I would say. I guess this could be improved. And you can see I worked with the limitations I had. I built a ramp in the roundabout to then get all of these 6 trains there. I wonder whether I will fill trains with agricultural science. Maybe space science and agricultural science will be together. I wonder what would happen if I just connected this. Does this matter in any way? Okay, I will build some kind of military science train station there. And I might maybe get in a few more meters, I don't know. By going a bit more steeply. And also this is a more diagonal curve then. There. Because signals are important to not make trains get stuck somewhere. And I do have stations to load things, big stations. And of course it's nice that my trains are 161. I think I settled on this because it's a nice number. Apparently at some point I had 4 wagon trains. Probably in my first playthrough at some point. And these clouds of bots would rather be useful if they were doing something useful and not just transporting around a lot of spoilage or something. I guess transporting away spoilage from, for instance, labs or other places might be a good thing. All of these science packs spoiled. I guess most of the time I just copy one of my stations here. I don't need this one, this is an... Okay, yes, I do need this. This is an input station actually. I sometimes find things confusing. And I do need a pickup station, so I could just copy the whole thing. Maybe even with a train. Then I have another train in the system. I wonder if blueprinting also makes a sound. It's like a little metally sound or something being dropped. Something heavy. I don't know if it's the same for small things. Okay, maybe that's not a blueprint. Is it a blueprint? This is a blueprint. No. I don't know if it was because of the train or something else. Definitely made some sound. Okay, and since I have built it this way, which is rather not the way I wanted it to be, but anyway, I think I have good ideas for how to now integrate all of that. Okay, what are you waiting for? Is there no... Yeah, there needs to be a signal. And there, and there. Probably I would be able to fit 3 whole trains here. And I might even just work with the military science production that I have at the moment. Maybe it's enough for something. It's also nice that these trains are totally kissing. Or definitely overlapping somehow. At least their textures. Maybe not their hitboxes, which is a good thing, otherwise they would hit. So I need to go to wherever I produce inserters and make sure that at least a few basic inserters are being made with incoming resources. I guess they will just fly in via robots. Because sometimes there might not be enough common resources available from just recycling. There needs to be something like a ground truth of production. Maybe that's too much. I don't need to produce that many at a time anyway. I will limit this to 100. And they will be immediately recycled anyway, but it's good to just produce some of them sometimes. Maybe even with double the capacity. And yes, the assembler graphics are new. They look a bit more fancy and steampunk, I guess. Like these half-diagonal gear wheels. All together. And all kinds of mechanisms. Sadly, I can't zoom in any further. And they did the refineries. I guess I do have refineries. I did build new ones. Down there somewhere. This. Yeah, I guess they are all kind of either looking up or looking down. Don't have one from the side. Might just have them for fun. Just to see the textures. And yeah, this is the setup I came up with to have full rows of beacons with all these refineries next to each other. I could extend this forever, I guess, or 320 blocks, because then I would get issues with the pipe extents. But anyway, I'm still here. And I need to make sure that maybe whenever not enough black science is available in there, I guess I could just set research. Add research condition. It's like a train system, but with with research instead. So the signal is Prometheum science packs. If they are less than 10,000, let's say. I don't know if 10,000 is much. And I guess this is not connected. So then do mining productivity. And otherwise, I guess I will just have the opposite condition. Can't queue numbers. But I can say 10k, which saves me 2 whole key presses. And then I actually need to say Prometheum, no, research productivity. And switch this to greater equals. I wonder whether at some point I will just see these researches switching every now and then. I guess they might wobble a lot around the 10k mark. I guess I would have to also figure out a combined condition, because sometimes I don't have enough agricultural science available to do the research. And in that case I would also like to switch. So this is where this decider combinator comes in. It will decide whether all of these are available. You might just write 4 nines, which is easier than typing 10,000, since 1 and 0 are too far away from one another, at least on the not numpad. I guess I will have ends. Let the ends meet. And then I will just have all the other science packs that might not be there all the time. Then I have also some way of measuring and filtering for these conditions. So yes, one thing that I would still love to be in Factorio would be to be able to fully just copy those conditions. Can I basically... I think there's a way to copy tags, and if you use the same syntax or the same keys or hotkeys, then you could just copy the condition and copy it over to another train or something. If it was in a train, or to another combinator, maybe having multiple combinators open. It's like having multiple code editors open, or multiple code editor tabs open, to easily just copy these things rather than having to type them into multiple places. I think there might be a research bottle icon or something that might resemble Prometheum. Well, actually, I might choose Prometheum or Shattered Planet as the icon. So, and then this will feed into there. And I might have as a research condition for that the Shattered Planet. I guess it just has to be greater than 0. And then I guess this research might always happen if anything, but I don't know if I still need to do something there. I might do some other researches as well. Like, for instance, not sure if rocket fuel productivity might already be high enough. I think processing unit productivity, yes, if there are enough pink sciences. These are these simple planetary productivity boosts. Maybe if greater than 22,000. And it's just the next in the line. If anything is missing from this combinator, then the research will try to switch to the pink sciences. Just have 10k of them in the system, I don't know why. Might also want to measure all of those that are going into these labs. Eventually I will just combine this. I can't combine it directly like this, I have to do something like that. And then also read, hold, and copy that over. And remove the roboport, make snap to grid 12. I think that's good. And then I will just run down, I guess. If I can. Okay, this may just be there and stay there because I might extend the labs to the bottom at some point. So these cables now have even more of that science available, and you can see it switched to processing unit productivity. And I guess it wouldn't have a queue now that it is being set by a lab, and you can see the lab in question is just my lower right southeastern lab. I think that's enough for research configuration right now. I will go there and try to make the transfer station happen. It might be a very modular and multitudinal, I guess that's a new word, setup. How about 12? Let's do 12. I want to aim for a lot. And now I just need to... I wish I could basically program those kinds of things. This is just that there. This is... the next one is that there. The next one is that there. And then some of these are growing. You could basically have growing factories in certain directions. But I guess this kind of balancer is not easily growable. I think I might start out with those kinds of things. It's good that I have a 6 tunnels blueprint. Might just use that. Might also partly reduce that. And at some point I always wonder whether it's worth doing a tunnel or whether the distance is too low. But I guess that's meta and very... it doesn't matter actually, it's just aesthetics. Sometimes a nice looking factory is better to live in than one where you don't know what's going on. So, I guess I have ideas how to make trains appear there. But those trains aren't existing yet, but making them exist isn't too difficult. Let's just build a ramp. And then I can always still just move things around. I guess I will have to build the station first. And then I can place the signals. The idea is to build a turn there. Then I can move it back somewhat. I don't know how much. Or could I build another ramp there with some... I guess it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 train blocks further. Can just have another one. I guess this would be kind of not easily replicable, but I see a way in which I could do that. And it would involve just not doing it vertically, but horizontally. And I always like to have a signal immediately after the station, maybe even in between, but don't have to do overkill. Train station things. Wait, nowadays I can... Didn't even try that out yet. So, lane switching is now possible for those kinds of lanes. But I don't know. I like my setup. It did work. I don't know if it has any downsides that could be avoided with the lane switching idea. Okay, if you press V, it just gets rotated or flipped. Interesting. So my idea would be to just have it like this, almost, if I did it right. And then maybe, no, I don't need additional splitters there. They will all be going into this big splitter. I don't need 100,000 splitters everywhere, just in a few places. I might just copy the whole thing, but also give it a name before I copy it, and probably some train limits. So this should be military science, drop. Then enable maybe 2 for now. I don't know where I will attach this exactly. I will make a copy just to have a back up. I guess I could just put it here also. Into a book space. And then I can cut this out and paste it as close as possible to here. Yeah, I wonder whether I will have any weird ideas to make it even more compact, but also it's not quite necessary to do it that extremely. But also, what if I make it even more compact? But another thing is, one could even have additional things. Except there. And I think it wouldn't actually be too helpful. But this is a bit more compact. But also now I don't have it in the blueprint. Is the station name already good? Yes. I guess that's just one way to do it. The other way is still valid. And I guess now they are both the same. What if? I guess this could be done a bit better. Still. And then I could have a diagonally going up kind of thing. But I just need to figure out how to connect all the inputs. So, how about I do even more weird stuff here? Just to fit in one more thing. This is very compact. Just need to make sure. Yeah, I guess there will be those kinds of things, and they are not as long and in the way as these ramps. I guess having 4 of those stations could deliver a total of 12 lanes of science packs. I wonder how this kind of split would be built. Just like that. Okay, this is too close in already. This could just attach there. Wow. It's really difficult to hit the correct spot or figure out where the correct spot is to attach the rail in not a too weird way. I do have too many flying robot frames. I guess I could just, while I'm here, put some stuff in a box that then gets fetched or stored somewhere. I don't like to put everything into trash slots or trash requests. Sometimes I want to actually pick up things without robots running after me. I can almost use the 6 underground belts, but I can actually just use them and then remove whatever is over the line. I wish I could somehow have the most recently used blueprint book blueprint also in my hot thing for Control V, so that I don't have to go back to the book again and again. Kind of haven't yet gotten used to using books in the hotbar. I don't know if that would be a thing that I could learn to do without getting crazy because of all the things, all the blueprints that are in there. I would get lost. And I would have to sort my blueprints properly to make them actually useful. Hello, my favorite person. I'm streaming again. Maybe it's the fault of this new update. But just copy that for fun, even though I have it in my blueprint book. Maybe roughly in the correct place. And I have a corner thing. There are 6 things. Isn't that nice? So, I need to flip and rotate. And then it's somewhat in the right place. So, these are slightly over. I might just use tunnels there. And then it looks like a mess, but it's fine. I'm not looking forward to doing the cable management in my next PC. Good. And now I just need the actual trains that go here and do things. And maybe they also need an output, but they only need an output once they are there, so I can do that a bit later. I already had an idea where I wanted to do this. Come with me, spiders, so you can take me back eventually. So this will be military science. For now it might even be a requester chest based thing. A loading station. I guess I will say 3 and pick up. There are 48 stations with that name, maybe now 49. It's good to know. Also, I should have a few more, or maybe there are enough signals there, but the trains are just hungry. So I will give them some food. Brain food. Isn't that what Trismegistus says sometimes? Anyway, let's figure out where military science is being produced. Up there. I could just steal this belt. Steal more of those belts. Maybe I could even build a better factory here. That is not so 2 factories that are basically weird. So how about a splitter? Oh, I'm actually somewhat close. I might just build that myself. I guess this is still a thing that should work, so I will not try to disturb it. But maybe I need to build a better version of it eventually. Might be stuck. Might just be full of good legendary oil refineries, so I guess that's a good thing. A good state to be in. Rather than Germany. Or the US. I hate this. If I stand somewhere and build a splitter, then obviously I will be pushed into the next underground belts, and then I can't... Then I build over them with a splitter and get pushed even further by that new splitter. I guess I could make some space for a belt immunity equipment. Some spiders might also like that sometimes. Otherwise they play disc jockey on a belt. Probably you know that meme. Except if they at some point stop doing it. Because they find a spot to reliably sit on. Can I do a Hilbert curve? Would a Hilbert curve even be good? For this purpose? No, that's not it. Let's go further. No, there. Yeah. Funny enough, I guess I could put it in a loop, but not sure. Maybe that's also not an optimal Hilbert curve. I think it would start somewhere else. No idea. Maybe like... No. Can't be. There might be different versions. I don't want to find them now. So, these trains are not configured yet. They are called science trains. They don't even do anything. So, I guess pick up Novice. 227 of those trains already in use. And I guess that will be the 229th. Wow, I can also see how many trains there are of this type. Not just stations of a certain type. I like the abstraction layers that Factorio delivers. Are you? Yeah, I guess you are going to this pickup. And you are not even... Okay, I might just follow this train actually to see where it's going, if it's full at some point. Might also try to at the same time add another lane. Or maybe I don't have to, maybe I can't, maybe I don't need to. I guess waiting for this train to fill up might take a while. So, and there we already see the bigger train being filled with these new science packs. Or these old science packs. Or from the old production area. So it would be helpful to have some kind of off-ramp. Factorino, do some people say. Maybe because they don't play it. Because they might get sucked into the game. So, military science drop. I guess this also makes for a big buffer for these science packs. Because I don't always need to have these specific science packs. I don't even have to do anything with the research now, it's fully automated. Once this train is full, which will still take a bit, this is how fast it gets full. But yeah, the trains here still have to be filled up. Maybe I have to actually build a new kind of factory for that stuff. Maybe even somewhere. Maybe I will have to move my little experiments somewhere else, just for fun. Spidertrons can still try to play with them. But I could use this space. Minus the... I wonder whether those were the first accumulators that I ever built or something. Not sure why they would be like that there. So I could find some space to build a bigger military science factory. For now I would just copy that one. Maybe extend it soon-ish. I guess those Spidertrons also have a lot of stuff in them. Mostly rail supports. I guess they are trade unionists in the logistics sector. They are supporting rail. I think I could manage to create some space here. Just need to reroute some belts. This is actually the other way around. Not sure how long I will have to keep this, because I might not want any of these factories in the old world, but just to make the new labs function properly, I want to have some decent military science production without having to build it in a big scale somewhere. I think, where did I want to build this? Possibly here? I don't know. I'll have to drop stone bricks. So whenever there's an empty stone brick drop, that might be for military science to create walls. Anyway. So I might just go on with this belt. Okay, that's a bit too short. Good, and now I can basically do that. Maybe I should take them apart myself, so I don't have to wait for robots to take all the resources. So there's copper going up. I need to make sure copper still goes up. Maybe I'll do that back here. Then I don't need that splitter. So I guess this is fine. I have a new low density, cargo robot frame factory somewhere, so I don't have to care about this one. I produce them so rarely that I easily forget the name. Might even go even further to the right. Not politically. I guess it is called East. This actually doesn't need to be here, so... Mining productivity has been done. Can I look at the lab? Okay, those labs aren't doing anything, but still need to actually send the science packs there. Or wouldn't that have been done already? Maybe that train hasn't been filled yet. So I need to produce more of those science packs. Which I'm currently trying to do, so don't add me. Do I need this electricity connection? I think there might be redundancy somewhere. Might also just create my own redundancy again. This can go. How about that? Okay, that's also weird. So, Spidertrons can't handle robopods. Now I just need the inputs, which is walls. Might just send those things through. It's going to the left and to the right. I am confused. I guess eventually this will all disappear. I need to make quality trains, actually. How do I do that? Does my quality thing still work? Okay, I don't know if any of the train things need more than 3 of anything. Might also look at other items. For instance, I don't know, pump jacks. They need 4 things. Do I have refineries in that system? Oh yeah, there are refineries. So I can just do this and then parameterize, and then this is a parameter, ingredient of 0, same, I think I know why it's not working, but I'll have to investigate that anyway. So, train, locomotive, cargo wagon, then fluid wagon. So, and I guess since locomotives are produced somewhere else, I need to get there and upgrade the production. So just a quick thing. So, quality modules. This is new, but it's nice to have some additional trains. I guess stations don't benefit from quality, except for health, but that doesn't count. Health is boring. I could use better modules here. But I guess I also don't really need that anymore. I have a bigger setup for pump quality recycling already. I guess I can just let you watch this for now, so you can see how many quality trains I'm producing while I go on a little break. See you soon.